Your self-talk is either building your dream life or quietly destroying it. Most of you don't even realise the very self-talk that you're saying to yourself throughout the day. You say you want money, you say you want confidence, you say you want love. But if we were to follow you around for 24 hours, would we believe you?
Hey lovelies, welcome back to another episode. We are your manifestation sisters. I'm Leah.
I'm Tia.
We are here to help you embody the identity that makes life upgrades inevitable by becoming the wealthy woman at the centre of it all. Let's jump into the episode. So your self-talk is identity rehearsal. Every version of you exists. So when it comes to how you speak to yourself, what is this on a day-to-day basis? Are you really aware of how your inner conversations are flowing? Are you really aware of where your mind is going? A lot of the time, for many of us, we're on autopilot. So is your self-talk in support of you having what you want, or is your self-talk in support of you not having what you want? So it's like we're always rehearsing a version of ourselves. We're always choosing and deciding and claiming to be a version of ourselves. We're always in support of favourable talk or not.
Your self-talk and your self-concept are directly correlated, because your self-concept is who you think you are, and that self-talk reveals it. It's pulling back that layer, because the conversations that we have to ourselves every single day is revealing who we think we are. If we think we're unlucky in love, we'll say to ourselves things like, not this again. If we think there's not good men out there, we'll say to ourselves, oh, there's just not good men out there. If we think to ourselves we're not chosen, we'll say, oh, this is happening to me again. Not another guy, not another person that I've picked that isn't choosing me. It's a constant reflection of who you are claiming yourself to be in such a quiet way that not a lot of people realise that your self-talk is so powerful. You're literally directing and dictating and choosing a reality based on who you are claiming to be. It's not harmless, it's programming. We don't say that for you to fear your thoughts. It's empowering. It's actually like, how are you choosing to show up? Who are you choosing to be by the conversations that you are saying to yourself?
Because those conversations aren't private. Those conversations are with the inner creator within us. You know what I mean? 100%. It's constantly hearing us. So like Tia said, if you're constantly rehearsing stories of, oh, I never get what I want, or love is hard, or relationships don't work out, or there's never enough money, or there's more month than money. These are all conversations you're continually having with yourself. So in your reality, it must reflect those inner conversations that you're constantly dwelling in, you're constantly having with yourself. So when we start to shift how we see ourselves, change our self-concept, change the stories that we're saying to ourselves, yes, we get those intrusive thoughts because the mind is very wired just to keep us safe, keep us familiar. But we have to have the awareness when we're doing those things to be like, no, that's not who I am anymore. I'm choosing this for myself. So we identify the pattern, we interrupt it when we choose to say something different to ourselves, when we choose something different for ourselves.
Because our minds are like vacuums, right? In order to reprogram, rewire your identity, raise that baseline that we always speak about, you've got to replace. Clear said, you've got to interrupt the pattern. But it's not to like be constantly in your head, up in your thoughts 24/7, because we've been there. Like, I need to flip every single thought. It's having an awareness, because you have a different self-concept in every area. You have a self-concept in your love life, in your business, in money. And we've even revealed it in our own life. So them little quiet conversations that you're having, of like, we used to say we're having a busy period, and then we're having a quiet period, and then why do we call ourselves? And then like, why are we reaffirming and directing our reality in that way?
Yes.
You've got to replace them thoughts just through the natural routine and assumptions that you're thinking to yourself throughout your day. It has to be a deliberate process of, I'm not thinking as a version of me that has what it is that I want right now. What would she think? Your business is booming. Clients love you. Clients consistently show up.
Same with love as well. Like, love is easy. I always get what I want in love. I have the best luck in relationships. Everything always works out for me. I'm in the best shape of my life. I look amazing. I'm so healthy. I always have more than enough money. And I know sometimes it feels like pretending to yourself, but all you're doing is selecting a new identity selection. All you're doing is selecting a new reality for yourself. You're selecting to think differently as the version of you that would have what you want. That's how she would be thinking. That's what she would be saying to herself. So you're not lying to yourself. You're choosing something better for you, like you do when you're focused on the unfavourable things in your life. You're not monitoring those things, you're just doing it. You're just running to worst case scenario. You're just believing in that self-talk. So it's you selecting the identity you want for yourself, which leads us on to, you can't manifest past your self-talk. And what I mean by this is, say you visualise for 10 minutes, or you're doing a tool or technique, you've stepped into that version of yourself for 10 minutes, then throughout the rest of your day you're like, nothing's working, nothing's changing, this isn't going my way, where the fuck is it? This ain't working, manifestation don't work for me, I'm not getting what I want, love is this, money's this, health is this.
Sound familiar?
That's where you are throughout your day, that's where your self-talk is. So your words are spells, right? You're speaking your reality into existence by who you're being, who you're showing up as. Nothing's going to change in that way. So you can do all the tools and techniques, but if your self-talk isn't in alignment with that, nothing's going to change. And we wonder why it's like Groundhog Day and nothing's changing, because we're rehearsing the same things day in and day out.
Your most dominant state wins. So we always explain it like the scale analogy of like, you can tip that scale first thing in the morning and rehearse and you've got yourself into the state, you know, that ideal self wins. But then throughout the day you're like, where is it? Insulting yourself. I'm not getting what it is I want. I don't see the reflection. Oh my god, it's the same thing. It's like you've tipped the scale back. So that dominant state that you are directing your self-talk in of who you are claiming to be throughout the day is what wins.
Yeah.
So the scale, I love the scale analogy because it's like it gives you that direct concept of like where you place your attention is where you place your energy, and where are you directing your attention and focus through how you talk to yourself. I always get what I want. And it's like once you start rehearsing to be this person through your self-talk, you're raising the baseline of what you say is yours and rewiring your identity by who you are claiming to be, by just how you are quietly, subtly talking to yourself throughout the day.
And it's like, what do I choose to prefer instead? Because obviously sometimes, like I said, we're on autopilot, so we're not always directing our thinking, but we can choose to direct our thinking when we start our day. And it's like, how do I want my day to go today? There are moments in our day when we can recognise where our thoughts are going, and even our emotions let us know where our mind might be. So if we're feeling not good within ourselves, that's letting us know that the self-talk that we're having isn't in support of the version we want to be, or the version that has what we want. So we can stop ourselves and be like, okay, I might not know what I was just thinking, but I choose this instead. This is who I'm deciding to be. And like for myself, I like to listen to things that are in support of me having what I want, support of the version of me that has the self-talk that I want. So you can get used to talking to yourself in a certain way as the version of you that would have what you want. So you naturally start to speak that way, and it's very powerful.
It takes the guesswork out of it. For a lot of people, when you're at whatever stage, it's like, well, what do I think then? And then you go looking for like, you go looking for like the perfect affirmation, and you're putting that pressure on yourself. But if you can naturally start raising your baseline, and this is like a great tip, a key tip, if you can start naturally reprogramming how you're talking to yourself in the mundane tasks when you are leading from autopilot, so when you're driving, when you're going about your day, when you're showering, when you're cleaning, or when you're just taking a walk. That's when your brain's,
there's so many times driving.
That's when your brain's on autopilot. So that is a great way to reprogram your natural baseline. That's when I plug and play our rampages, talk to myself in a different way.
It's that my self-talk starts to also dominantly go that way, because that's where my mind is more focused.
Exactly, because you've done it in that moment. Because if your conscious mind is kind of shut off when you're doing the mundane tasks, so you can directly tap into that subconscious and rehearse and be a different version in that moment.
Yeah, because I think we're always looking for that perfect affirmation, but our self-talk is a stream of affirmations.
Yeah, exactly.
That's literally all it is. So we have to decide who we're being. We have to decide how we want to talk to ourselves. So whatever you say to yourself that's in support of having what you want, or not having support of having what you want, that's what's going to create for you, because that's where your self-talk is dominantly going. So you might as well direct it in the way that you want it to be.
Exactly. When you're doing the mundane tasks, when you're washing up, when you're going on walks, and start plugging and playing and naturally rewiring that identity of who you say you are.
That self-talk. Because we know, like, most of our self-talk is inherited. Like, some of the things that we say to ourselves are some of the things that our parents used to say to themselves. But we have to be the ones that break the cycles. We have to be the ones to decide, like, I'm no longer saying this to myself. You know, because a lot of it we heard growing up, or we heard from society, or people around us, or our friends, or wherever it is. I know with myself, if I'm hanging around with the same people a lot, I start to take on how they speak, and you start to think of like how they view things, and you're like, actually that's not in support of what I want. And you have to have the awareness to choose something different. So you are the rule maker, you are the one that's deciding everything, you are the one that's deciding how you speak and what you engage with and what you give your attention to and what you give your focus to.
It's powerful.
Because it is so powerful. Like, you know, a lot of the things that we listen to, it's not truth, it's conditioning. So you get to decide what the truth is for you based on your self-talk. And you can think about it in this way, like, is my self-talk compassionate for myself? And I used to notice this with myself. I'd put myself down a lot. I'd be very self-critical towards myself, and that isn't in support of the version of me that is who I want to be or has what I want, because the version of me is very loving and compassionate towards myself, and that's the version I choose to be now. Like, I have a very good inner dialogue with myself, and when I notice that I've maybe put myself down in some way, I stop it and be like, no, that's not how we talk to ourselves, Leah.
I need to repeat what you just said though. Is it truth or is it conditioning? Because that's so fucking powerful. It made me just think of, like, you know, that analogy I used to say about the recipe. And there's a story of, like, there was a gran and she passed down the recipe to her daughter. She passed down the recipe to her daughter, and on the recipe it had something like, use a certain type of butter, I'm gonna say. And everyone done this for like years and years. It got passed down until one day she just asked her, why do you use that instead of that? And she said, I don't know, that's just what I do. But it's like, it's a metaphor of, we just do things because it's been conditioned, and we've seen our parents or heard our caregivers talk about certain things or model certain things for us without having the discernment of, is that our truth? So then we, on autopilot, do those things. Think about money. For example, money makes you a bad person, or it makes you greedy, or there's not enough money doesn't grow on trees, just because we've heard it.
Yeah, then, you hear other things like all men cheat, all these kind of things. Like,
I know, we've had that kind of
we've definitely heard those things.
But it's, unless you choose your truth through how you're choosing to sharpen how you're choosing to speak to yourself, that will become your truth. And it's not because it's truth, it's just because it's conditioned. And once you have that moment to be like, actually, I have the power to change my whole conditioning and change the premise of how I see life, what I perceive and what I make my truth through what I tell myself, it's very empowering, because you're like, I'm actually not a victim to these stories, and they don't have to be true because I have the power to change them.
Yeah, because our self-talk can either support us or destroy us. That's literally how it is. So let's think about rewriting that self-talk intentionally, and what you can start to do to go forward to be more intentional about how you're speaking to yourself. So let me ask you this: do you actually speak to yourself with love and kindness? Do your words support the version of you that has what they want? Is your self-talk really in alignment with the version of you that has what they want? Do you talk to yourself like someone you love? Do you put yourself down, or do you build yourself up? Are you your own cheerleader? And this is what it really means to be the creator, to be the person in charge of your reality, because you're deciding how you talk to yourself based on the relationship you have with yourself. So it's really about, we always say, because awareness is the first step to everything. It's your I am, it's who you choose yourself to be, it's whatever you say after I am, right? So that is your identity. So the key is, when it comes to our self-talk, we really want to start to have the awareness of catching it, replacing it, and then repeating something different.
Yeah.
Something that's more empowering. So we catch the self-talk that isn't in support of what we want. We release it because we decide that's no longer our truth, and we replace it because we decide that's no longer our truth, and then we repeat something different. We start to choose a new truth rather than a conditioned truth. So it's really starting to then talk to yourself as the ideal self, as the future self you want to be, as the version of you that has what you want. So for example, the version of me that has the love that they want, she speaks to herself with love and kindness. She knows how amazing she is. She knows that she is loved and wanted and chosen, and that she's a great person, that anyone would be lucky to be with her, that she knows that she attracts high quality partners that cherish her, adore her, love her. She sees love as easy. She sees love as normal, right? And it's the same with when it comes to how you see yourself in your relationships, how you see yourself in regards to money, in regards to your business. You see yourself as someone that has a valuable message, that your business is booming, that people love hearing what you have to say, that your work is valuable, your work is worthy of compensation, that everything you do is enough.
Yeah. A bonus for this, because this is where it truly matters. It's when your 3D isn't reflecting what it is that you want. The reason why we open this video with saying in the quiet moments is because when no one is around. So when you're left to the own devices of the narratives and the stories that you play is when you are truly wiring your self-concept. Because when you don't get that reflection or that text back or the money in your bank account, what is it you then say to yourself? That is your self-talk. That is what you truly think of yourself, and that is what you are consciously observing to rewrite. Because as you start to rewrite and rewire your self-talk, you are rewiring your self-concept, who you say you are. But not in the moments that when everything seems perfect. It's in the moments when things don't go your way, or you get reflections back that give you a choice of whether you repeat or evolve. Evolve past this circumstance by the story you choose to tell yourself.
Yeah, absolutely, because I think your identity stabilises when your self-talk stabilises. And once you stabilise into a new version of self, your self-talk will be in support of that.
Exactly. Just to give an example, a client trying to grow her business had a quiet period. In that moment, she's like, I have another quiet period. What am I doing wrong? Where are they? Where are they? What are you deciding and claiming for yourself in this moment? Are you agreeing, self-talk, putting your focus and attention on the fact that there's no clients? Or are you choosing to anchor into your truth, which is, I have consistent clients, everything's always working out, my community love me, my audience expands so easily and effortlessly, and that is my truth. That is what I'm choosing. That is in a dialogue and language I'm having. Because in that quiet period where you're not yet seeing the evidence, who are you claiming to be? And that is where the shift and your power lies.
Yeah. So when we're choosing to be a new version of self, identifying in new ways, the self-talk is really in support of that, because identity leads and reality follows. So with that being said, we're going to end the episode here. We really hope you enjoyed the episode. Like I said, ways to work with myself and Tia in the description box down below, and we'll see you in the next episode.